All right, folks, welcome back to the Crisis Report. It is January 6th, 2025, or 6th, or whatever, or 6 or 5 or 6. January 7th, now, no longer the 6th, but we're covering January 6th, 2026. We have a 5-year anniversary of the worst day in American history. However, did we make it that fateful day? So we got a lot going on. America wants Greenland. We have some clarity on it, so we're going to talk about it. But yeah, let's start to get into it and do it. Brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. Appreciate you being here. You can check out the other places in the description of all the places that we are, so you can join us here in the community. We love our community. We're doing well. There's people that don't want you to think that, but whatever. So just keep showing up, okay? And we'll keep telling you what's going on. So it's the most comprehensive news on YouTube, and we're about to prove it. So sit back, get yourself a nice hot cup of STFU, and let's do it. Let's talk about what's going on in the world. Okay? Cool. Here we go. All right. 1/6/26, we want Greenland. We want it, baby. We want the world, and we want it now. Yes. Okay. Here we go. Hello. Justin Macron says that leaders at the Paris summit have agreed that a declaration of Paris on security guarantees for Ukraine. Well, thank God for that. Starmer says a declaration of intent has been signed stating that in the event of a peace deal, there will be a deployment of forces in Ukraine. UK and France will establish military hubs and build protected facilities for weapons and military equipment. That's called World War III. Self-driving car systems company Mobileye to buy Israeli startup Menti, a humanoid robot maker, for $900 million. Cool. Giant tuna sold to Tuna King for a record $30.2 million in an auction in Japan. Marco Rubio allegedly told lawmakers during a closed briefing that threats against Greenland didn't signal an imminent invasion. The goal is to buy the island from Denmark. Of course. We're taking Greenland. Syria's new government and Israel are going to set up a dedicated communication cell under U.S. supervision to share intelligence and seek military de-escalation on the ground. According to state.gov, link right there. You can find that link and more on the Substack. Trump says Venezuela will be turning over 30 and 50 million barrels of high-quality sanctioned oil to the United States of America, sold at market price with the money controlled by the Trumpster. New Republican-led January 6th committee. Thank God, we need another one of those, get to the bottom of it. That's going to set its first hearing for next week. Can't wait. Riveting TV. Saying focus will be on the pipe bombs and the FBI's previous investigations. God, so glad. Musk's AI, XAI, has successfully raised $20 billion in a Series E funding round for the development of advanced AI infrastructure. Skynet. China's astronauts complete a near month-long underground cave training to prepare for planned future moon missions. Nestle has recalled infant formula batches in 25 countries due to a toxin, cerulide, risk. China again warns about Maduro's kidnapping. China calls on the U.S. to release President Maduro and his wife and ensure their personal safety. Blatant disregard for President Maduro's status as head of state blatantly prosecutes him and puts him on a so-called trial on a domestic court, seriously violates Venezuela's national sovereignty and destabilizes international relations. No country should put its domestic rules above international law. China calls on the U.S. to release President Maduro and his wife at once and ensure their personal safety. Iran is considering preemptive strikes against Israel. Secretariat of Iran's Defense Council stated. Earlier today, the Secretariat of Iran's Defense Council publicly confirmed for the first time in a statement that Iran considers a preemptive strike against Israel as a legal and justified defense option in case of any tangible threats. Trump and Israel are preparing to attack Lebanon, according to Channel 12. Israel has received the green light from President Trump to carry out a military operation in Lebanon against Hezbollah and Lebanon. Trump not only gave the green light for a military operation in Lebanon, but he also is pushing for the Israeli army to initiate it. Decision is to go to war in Lebanon is now with Netanyahu. Hillel Baton Rosen, Israeli military journalist for Channel 14, stated. It's coming. Colombia says they are preparing the military for a possible attack on the United States. Colombia's foreign minister said on Tuesday that her country wished to keep open diplomatic channels, but had to be prepared for an aggression against our country by the United States. For that, we have a very well-trained army, Minister Rosa Villavicencio said at a news conference. U.S. has threatened Venezuela's Interior Minister Diosdado Cabello that he is going to be targeted if Venezuela does not meet U.S. demands, according to Reuters. Trump administration has put Venezuela's hardline Interior Minister on notice that he could be at the top of its target list unless he helps President Dulce Rodriguez meet U.S. demands. Russia has sent a submarine and other naval assets to escort the oil tanker Bella 1, which the U.S. is still chasing into the Atlantic Ocean to seize, according to the Wall Street Journal. Trump has demanded Venezuela kick out China, Russia, Iran, and Cuba, and partner exclusively with the United States on oil production, according to ABC. Mexican president urges U.S. to give Maduro a fair trial. Iranian opposition channels report that partisans set a besieged base in Andesheh, western Tehran province on fire. Israeli strikes will soon intensify north of the Litani River, well beyond the border, with strong and sustained attacks planned over the coming months targeting new Hezbollah facilities. Lebanese armed forces have seized as a major ammunition warehouse belonging to Hezbollah between the villages of Kafra and Sedikim in South Lebanon. The army is still working towards dismantling the complex and secure its contents. Facility contained 1,640 Grad rockets, 3 cruise missiles, 4 million Kalashnikov rounds, large reconnaissance drones based on Soviet era Tupolev Tu-143 platforms that had been converted into cruise missile type weapons. Iranian Crown Prince announces that he is giving his first official call to the action across Iran. I'm sharing my first call to action and you today, and I invite you and you all to this Thursday and Friday, January 8th and 9th, simultaneously at exactly 8 p.m., whether in the streets or even from your homes, begin chanting slogans together. Based on the response to this action, I will announce the subsequent calls to you. Diosdado Sabayo, Nicolas Maduro's right-hand man, admits that Venezuela's former dictator Hugo Chavez was killed and did not die of cancer, as stated on the official report. Lost Commander Hugo Chavez, we do not have the physical capacity to bring him back because they killed him. Sabayo has never been close to the Cuban regime, and with his statement, for the first time, he publicly throws a stone at Havana's roof. It is an open secret that Chavez's process of deterioration and death was allegedly accelerated as the Cuban regime sought to position Nicolas Maduro in power. Lost my place. Maduro was indeed a man trained in Cuba from a very young age and eventually became Cuba's main operator and strongman in Venezuela. As the protest spread, the Islamic Republic's military started major drills of air bases, air defenses, claiming it's part of the preparations for an eventual American-Israeli strike against Iran. Here on video, you see the air defense test over OUPES. There we go. As the protests spread, the Islamic Republic's military started major drills of air defense, claiming it's part of preparations for an inevitable American-Israeli strike against Iran. Here on video, you see the air defenses over Al-Hawaz. Iranian protesters are placing stickers all over Iran, which say, "Trump, Iran is waiting for you." Silver has surged above $79 an ounce, now just 6% away from the new record high. 9% plus 9% since the U.S. captured Maduro. Big one. Silver has surged over $79 an ounce, is now 6% away. That's plus 9% since the U.S. captured Maduro. Gold futures surged above 4,500, now up to $220 since the low seen last week. Gold is now less than 2% away from a new record high. Absolutely insane. Venezuela's stock market is up 73% since Maduro was captured. Since December 23rd, as President Trump ramped up pressure on Maduro's government, Venezuela's stock market is up 148%. Crazy. Venezuela's stock market is skyrocketing. The odds of Democrats winning the U.S. House of Representatives in 2026 has risen to 79% per Polymarket. Markets think Republicans are set to lose the midterms. S&P 500 surges into new record territory, now the 45+% since the April 2025 bottom. And it's official, gas prices in the U.S. are now down to an average of $2.81 a gallon, the lowest level since 2021. Average American household is set to save $11 billion on gasoline in 2026 compared to 2025. Silver remains historically tight. Lease rates, 1 month borrowing cost in silver in the UK stand at a 7.3%, well above average levels since 2025. Normal market conditions, silver lease rates remain standing zero when the supply and demand are in balance. U.S. tech run is unprecedented. The S&P 500 communication services sector has rallied 184% 3 years, strongest 3-year gain on record. Surpasses the previous record of 155% during the 2000 dot-com So let's see. Venezuelan opposition. Leader and Nobel Prize winner, Peace Prize winner, Maria Corina Machado, has doubled down on dedicating her prize to President Trump. If I believe he deserved it in October, I imagine now. As soon as I learned that we had been awarded the Nobel Peace Prize dedicated to Trump, because I believe that at a point he deserved it, and a lot of people, most people, said it was impossible to achieve what he has just done, Saturday, January 3rd. I think he has proven to the world that he means. I mean, January 3rd will go down in history as the day justice defeated a tyranny. It's a milestone. And it's not only huge for the Venezuelan people and our future, I think it's a huge step for humanity, for freedom, and human dignity. Iranian rial has reached a new day low, with $1 US equal to 1,470,000 rials. Open market rate and not the official government rate that no one is looking at. Night of protests in Iran, dozens killed. Protesters set government buildings on fire. Finally, we see big masses in the streets of Iran. The regime is under pressure. Economic crisis is real, and the protests are across all sectors. Abdanan, people broke into the city warehouse, began looting sacks of rice and food. City of Abdanan is the first Iranian city to break free from the Basij control. The local police are not stopping anyone. And in some places, the police even cheered the protesters. Significant, there's images we have not seen before, although this is not the Tehran burning, and it's possible the regime is gathering forces and therefore is not confronting them now, maybe afraid of Trump. Is this just a trap by the Revolutionary Guard? Protesters in the Pardis district of Karaj, west of Tehran, set fire to the city's Islamic Council building. Recent days, Islamic councils, religious seminaries, and Islamic schools have increasingly become targets of anti-regime protests. Over the past several hours, dozens of U.S. Air Force aerial refueling tankers and heavy military transport aircraft, specifically the C-5 and C-17 platforms, have departed from the United States and from a U.S. airbase in the United Kingdom, heading toward the Middle East. According to the multiple sources, the United States is preparing for strikes against Iran, and this activity reflects the ongoing transfer of forces to the region. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has informed Congress that the United States intends to purchase Greenland. That, my friends, is your crisis report. We're brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. Check out the links in the description. Possibly you'd like to become a member here. Other than that, folks, keep prepping. God bless you all. We will see you on the next one.